Welcome once again. And from economic conversations, let's go to security now. A curfew has been imposed in Gwoza Local Government area of Borno State in the wake of the suicide bombing attacks. Many have lost their lives and over 30 injured in a series of suicide bombing attacks that rocked Borno on Saturday.
The Director General of State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, Barkindo Saidu, said 4 bombs were detonated by female suicide bombers. The attack is one of the deadliest reported in the state in recent months. Now, according to authorities, 2 female bombers have been arrested in connection to this attack. Now, joining us this morning is Peace Advocate Muhammad Auwal and security expert Bala Abdullahi. He'll be joining us much later, but we're with Muhammad Auwal. Mr. Auwal, good morning. Thank you for joining us. First of all, just to say that
Thank you so much.
we are extending our condolences to you. We know that, these are people in your state who unfortunately have lost their lives to suicide bombers. Can you give us updates on exactly what is going on in Borno State?
Okay, what is going on in Borno State is the authorities are responding to the situation. Military, the government, and the emergency organizations or emergency establishments are already responding to the situation. And people are panicking. But I know that there is also going to be a response to that to make people feel a little bit calm, not to panic, not to create more tension because of what has happened, because chaos, panic, and the rest will not really bring solution to the situation. When things like this happen, it is a moment for people to look back, for people to look around and pay attention to their communities, and also ensure that they don't create more problem that will compound the situation.
All right.
So I think the situation right now is that authorities, everything is in the hand of the authorities. They are responding to it, and people are waiting to get the final update from the government about what is really happening and what they should do as a community or as individuals.
So what I would like you to share with us is if you have exact details, because we've seen a multiplicity of reports regarding how many people have been killed, regarding where the attacks have occurred. So do you have updates on where the attacks occurred, how the attacks were carried out, who and who have been arrested? So just to sort of give us an insight into where we currently are.
Okay, first of all, in Gwoza, there were 4 attacks, almost simultaneously, that have claimed lives of people and injured many. Some of them have been transferred even to Maiduguri to receive treatment, while some have lost their lives. Then the most recent is the one that occurred around Maiduguri-Monguno Road, another bomb blast, which means that we are now having multiple bomb blasts. Then there's also a report that said some of the suspected suicide bombers are still at large, which means not everybody has been, not all the elements have been identified and captured, which means they are still roaming where people don't know. And for the figures, I think what has been reported is that there are 18 people have been affected. 18 people have lost their lives, and several others were injured. And medical team, the medics are responding at Maiduguri specialist hospital in Maiduguri, and victims have been transported to Maiduguri to receive a better treatment, because you can't actually leave them in the local governments, so that when you transfer them to Maiduguri, they'll be able to receive a better treatment. Then I don't want us to forget the fact that there were numbers of abductions around Damaturu Road. Biu is one crucial local government also in Borno State, where people usually travel from Maiduguri to Biu, and they follow the Damaturu Road. So a series of abductions have happened along that road also, and it was reported that about 5 people were abducted along that road, which now we are going up to a figure of about 25 or 23 people affected within this short time range. And it is so concerning because people have thought that this matter is gone or this situation is over, but now we are going back to the same thing that has been happening over the years.
Yeah, but I mean, and that's the part, that I think we mustn't leave out of the conversation. It's been 10 years, roughly 10 years since, the last time we heard about bombings and suicide bombings in Borno State or other parts of northern Nigeria. I've always argued that it would take more than 10 years for these people to heal from the trauma of what they dealt with, in those times, between 2012, to 2014, all that, era. It would take a lifetime to heal from that trauma. So I can't even imagine what it feels like to be back there once again, which is scary and worrisome for me. So I want you to speak about, what that must feel like for people who live in those parts, who felt like they were done with hearing about bombings, to once again hear that these things might be back, in the news.
Well, if I will be honest with you, suicide bombings have been the most despicable experiences of the people in Borno State, and these recent happenings are now bringing negative shots from the past, which are going to create more concerns in the minds of people, and it will create tension, it will create distrust, it will affect the confidence of the people and the communities. But we don't want that to happen, and that's why I would like to say that even when the government and the authorities are responding to that situation, to the medical aspect and the security aspect, we should also respond to the feelings of people, how people are feeling about this situation. They need to talk to people. They need to tell people what is happening, how are they doing, what assurances are they giving, that this thing is not coming back fully. And in every conflict, there's always a last gasp. And maybe people have relaxed so much that they forgot about the tendencies of the last gasp, which I maybe describe this as a part of the last gasp of the insurgents going or fading out of the entire picture. As it is, people in the communities, especially resettled communities, are going to be worried. And you will not blame them, because those are communities that they have left for years, and now they have gone back there. They are trying to resettle. They are trying to get their lives back, and things are now starting to happen in a way that it happened before. I think it's going to create a lot of tension for them. But that is notwithstanding, the authorities need to also look into this, because this is one of the most crucial aspects of it. Because we don't want a situation where people in those communities that have been resettled will now start displacing, will start moving out of the communities again because of fear, because of chaos, because of panic.
All right. So how do we foresee that we can move on from this whilst we are waiting updates from the security from the government of Borno State and the security agents? How do you foresee that we can move on from this?
I think what should be done is everybody should remain calm. Everybody, when I said everybody, I mean everybody either in the urban areas or in the rural areas. And secondly, everybody have to be vigilant. We have to pay attention to people who come into our communities. We have to pay attention to who goes out of the community. Like the deputy governor said, we need to be vigilant. We need to pay attention to what we are doing, the people we interact with in our various communities, especially during ceremonies where these bomb blasts happen in Gwoza Local Government. During ceremonies, during celebrations, people gather a lot, and these are opportunities that the insurgents exploit negatively to hurt people. So I think people should remain calm. People should be vigilant, especially in occasions where there are a lot of gatherings and people around.
Muhammad Auwal, thank you very much for sharing, these perspectives with us. We, of course, wanted to look at it from the human angle. We will, of course, have security experts also join us a later date. But thank you very much for your time. We look forward to speaking with you again.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And just like I've said, we will, of course, have, security experts who have extensive information and knowledge on these things. Join us sometime later today or tomorrow on Breakfast Central so we can have a proper analysis about what's going on in Borno State. But, like I said earlier also, if you need a report card for Nigeria and how we fared in the fight against insurgency in the last 10 years, 2014 to 2024. If you need a clear report card, this is the time when Junior returns from school and Daddy says, let me see your report card. If you need anything, this is a very, very clear report card that we still have not been able to completely defeat Boko Haram or any insurgent group in a way that they no longer have the ability to use innocent Nigerians and set them up as suicide bombers. This is a clear report card as to what Nigeria has achieved in 10 years in the fight against insurgency. And it's heartbreaking, really, really heartbreaking. But let's hope and encourage the Nigerian government to do what it must to ensure the security of lives and property all across Nigeria.